I'm not sure what I think of Suella Braverman and Rishi Sunak's repeated warnings about defacing the cenotaph during one of these marches, which is scheduled to take place on or about the 11th of November, Armistice Day. It seems to me that Suella Braverman's constant harping on about this is now the second time or the third time she's now made a comment. She's talked today about the solemnity which it deserves and the full face of the law. Cenotaph vandals will be locked up before your feet hit the ground. It's almost provocative. It's almost as if she is stirring up a situation where she wants somebody to deface the cenotaph so that she can have the thrill of arresting them or seeing them arrested. I think this is the wrong way around the process. Now, yesterday there was a police presence around the cenotaph protecting it. That surely is the way forward, simply to quietly protect the cenotaph from any possibility of it being defaced, to erect some sort of barricade around it, or to stop people moving, to stop marches or people moving in that part of the street, Whitehall. I don't see that there's any problem with fencing off an area, but the constant tease, it is a tease, isn't it? Am I misreading this? 29 people were arrested, was that yesterday? 29 people were arrested yesterday on what Suella Braverman continues to call hate marches. I think she misunderstands. I think she misunderstands the mood of the people. I think she misunderstands the response to the extreme actions of Netanyahu's government. I think she misunderstands the outpouring of sympathy and concern for people who are suffering. And I think she's trying to cast that as something that is anti-Israel, that is anti-Jewish, that is anti-Semitic. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. I think there is a sizable part of the population which is simply concerned about the suffering of the Palestinians, and I think that's perfectly okay. There is a smaller part which is opposed to Netanyahu's government. There is a smaller part which is unable to articulate the difference between being opposed to Netanyahu's government and being opposed to Israel as a concept. I think that is an area that needs education. And there's an even smaller part of that which is actively pro-Hamas. And that very small group. Now, of course, you can say it was a very small group of people who incited who controlled the movement towards war in the last war. It was a very small group of people, the Nazi Party, that gained control. The majority of Germans were peace-loving people. You can say this about any development, and I think the important thing here is to appeal to the larger number of people who are peace-loving, and to ensure that smaller group doesn't take over. That smaller group, of course, has taken over in the Gaza Strip. It's 4,000 militants, but finding those and silencing those in whatever means is a difficult call. Almost an impossible call, I think, and particularly a difficult call to do it by some sort of military intervention by one country alone. This is the call that Netanyahu has made. I think it's wrong. But equally, I think a call that Suella Braverman has made, almost a challenge, is equally wrong. I think there are things which we can do quietly that will protect our country, that will protect our institutions, and the same thing is true of Israel. In the case of Israel and Netanyahu, he took his eye off the ball, and it's not just something that he's done recently, it's something that has been gradually, that sort of indolence and that smug content has been gradually growing over the years in the Likud party and the far right of Israel. And the assumption that barricading off Gaza will make it go away. It won't. It won't. One has to constantly be actively alert. The state must be alert. But it doesn't mean that we must be constantly challenging people who are in need either of education or of removal in some form. Supporting Hamas, or rather, not so much supporting Hamas, because Hamas is defined as a terrorist organisation in Britain. So legally supporting Hamas is wrong, but actually there are varieties of support there. What we should be worried about are those people who support the Qasim brigades, and that is the problem. Those people who support and challenge the existence of Israel and challenge the existence of freedom in the Middle East. If, for example, you are LGBTQ+, you would have a very difficult time living in Gaza under the Hamas rule. Just think about it. Suella Braverman is wrong. We know this, but it's sometimes difficult to articulate exactly why she's wrong. Hamas, or the Qasim Brigade, is wrong, but it's sometimes difficult to know how they're wrong or why they're wrong. And in the same way, I think Netanyahu's government, or Netanyahu himself, is wrong. But at the same time, there is so much which is positive. The state of Israel is a positive thing. The state of Palestine, the two-state solution, is a positive thing. The gradual peace which was emerging in the area was a positive and must be recaptured and must be rekindled. And there is so much positivity in the region. And for it to be jettisoned because of a dreadful terrorist attack which has provoked a dreadful and reprehensive response from the Netanyahu government, I don't think we should abandon all hope of peace simply because of that. I think we should look instead across to the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement in Northern Ireland and the hope that 25 years of peace can bring to a country.